Oh, well, Paul, I guess we'll address Chloe not. Last time we spoke, you sort of announced she was leaving for financial reasons, and she put out a post a bit later to say there's a bit more to it. What was your sort of reaction to that, and was there a bit more from your side of it to her departure?
Yeah, look, I think a lot's been said and a lot's been speculated. Ultimately, I think it did come as a bit of a shock to everybody. It was quite sudden, and when you get that with such a kind of key player and key individual in the group, it's difficult to deal with. There's no getting around that. We left on pretty amicable terms. We had a good discussion. We had a hug, and she went her way, and we've had to kind of carry on. We're trying to be a people-focused organisation, a club. Are we going to get that perfect every time? No. But we are really striving to be the best at doing that. And I think it was really important that in that situation we put Chloe first, if that's what we're aiming to do as a club. So we had to listen to her. We did. We had to take on feedback, which we did, and that happens in every high-performance organisation. There's never everything's perfect all the time. You just got to keep growing, and we're aiming to do that. So look, I think it's something that there's little things that we can improve and learn on, but I don't think it's like there's an underlying problem or there's not a big issue. And Chloe's circumstances are quite different to everyone else's in the group, which I think has been highlighted as well. So it's a quite unique situation and not something that obviously we've really had to deal with before. So we're learning as we go a little bit with that one as well. But it's important that we make sure she's okay, and at the moment my understanding is that she's happy and she's kind of content with that decision, and that's important.
So you had that chat after she made the Instagram post sort of saying there was more to it?
No, all that was done when she left here, which, if memory serves me right, was on the Thursday, and then kind of the post and stuff come after that. So I haven't spoken to her since she kind of left the building on Thursday.
Would you seek to do that then, to try and either mend the rift or understand the issues that she sort of put out there?
Yeah, look, I mean, we had a discussion, and I asked her the question, are we good? And she said, yeah, we're good. And I don't think there was any, it's not a heated debate, there's no arguments. I think it was all done pretty kind of amicably and calmly, So yeah, I'll reach out to her soon, and we'll let the dust settle on things, and we'll have another conversation. But we can't get past the fact that she was a really important person in this club, and she gets a lot of credit for the role that she's played, and deservedly so, because she was such a key part of this organisation from the very beginning, and that group for the first 2 years went through a lot, especially in year one. They went through a lot together because of that COVID situation. So it's important that we recognise her contribution to the club and value her, her feedback, and value her as an individual as well.
What was her feedback?
Look, I don't know any coach or any sporting organisation in the world that's going to tell everybody what people say in conversations. That's what happens in high performing teams. There's situations that occur. You talk to players, you get feedback. I'm not going to explain all that to everybody, but what I will say is we're taking everybody's feedback seriously, whether that's the Chloe situation or whether that's just day-to-day stuff on the training ground after games, reviewing. We're always listening. I think that's important to be a coach that listens, but also an organisation that listens, and we can move forward and ultimately just get better at what we do, whether that's on the pitch, off the pitch, in the kind of office, whatever it is. We just need to keep trying to grow and keep getting better.
You said you'd reach out to her. Was that to keep a relationship going, that something may happen in the future if circumstances change?
Yeah, I've known Chloe since she was in my under-17 group, we've known each other for years and years. So yeah, of course, you want to do that. And I think it's important for Chloe and for the club that we keep having a good relationship moving forward. So yeah, we'll do that. But obviously, football is kind of brutal. It moves on so fast, and we've got a really big game this weekend, and so you have to kind of just keep going and keep training, and ultimately we've got also Marisa obviously this week, some bad news of her injury, with Chloe, with Wiz, so we've got to replace those players. That's not an easy task. There's just constant things going on, so at the right time we'll do that, but it's been pretty hectic, yeah.
Not to dwell on it, I know we can move forward, but Were you or the club, you said that you were blindsided by it, so you weren't deceptive at all when you put out a media release saying it's pay related, and then Chloe came out and said later there's more to it?
No, I don't think so, no.
How was the morale in the playing group, considering the injuries, Chloe, everything?
Yeah, generally it's pretty good, but I think when you lose 3 players like we have, like all kind of like in and around that starting 11, that's going to take a hit on anybody, and we're all feeling it. Like there's ultimately, I know that there's like discussions about kind of mental health and stuff in sport, and like we're all feeling it. It's been a really tough week. We're not going to hide that. It started obviously with Chloe leaving, and then it's kind of ended this week with the Marisa news. So it's definitely one of the toughest challenges that we've experienced. And as a team, like you get these setbacks throughout the season. This one's come with us like off the pitch rather than kind of results wise. So we have to kind of come together, and we have to meet that challenge, and we have to keep trying to move forward, because that's elite sport. You're going to get these things that you've got to get over, these humps. So yeah, it's been tough. There's been a lot of soul searching. There's been a few sleepless nights. It's been hard, and as I say, like football doesn't wait for anyone, so you've got to keep going and got to keep moving, and we're still trying to focus on this game on Sunday.
And looking to replace Marisa in the starting 11, Kate Taylor obviously has played a bit of centre-back.
Yep.
She's been in a defensive midfield role for you. Is it more likely that you'll look at someone like Rebecca Lake to come in alongside Mac?
Yeah, and we've sort of talked a bit in the past about the strength of the squad and having 2 people in each position, and I actually think Rebecca's been just getting better and better and better, and we've used her every game. She's ready to go. Like she's going to step in, and she'll be a big player, and she'll be ready for that, because she's kind of been like preparing, I guess. It's just those 2 have been so good. It's been very hard to change those centre backs because they've been excellent, but we've got a ready-made replacement right here, and she knows exactly what her role will be. So yeah, ready to go.
Have you got any idea about Mackenzie's I guess level of fitness after playing a couple of games and then travelling 1,000 hours back from South America?
Yeah, it feels like that. They just arrived. We've seen them. They all look tired, as you would expect. But we've got probably 48 hours to kind of see where their recovery comes up. We're not going to probably make any decisions on who starts and who's on the bench until probably Saturday afternoon. Give them time to see how they feel tomorrow, and then we'll have to make some calls, whether you start them, whether you use them off the bench, whether you don't include them. It will all kind of come down to the individual and how they feel, really. But on a positive side, like for her to get 2 starts for her country and to play 90 minutes, and I thought she did great. I think that's like a massive step forward for her. There's been a bit of heartache, obviously, missing out World Cup and things, so for her to bounce back, start the season well, and get that, like, it's awesome for her.
And someone like Mania Elliott, who went but didn't play, is there still a toll on her with all of the travel?
Oh yeah, of course. Like there's the fatigue, but I guess there's maybe a little bit less of a risk, or less kind of muscle soreness and things like that. And she's obviously like young and will bounce back quickly. She actually just said she wanted to train. She came out in her training kit, which I think tells you a lot. So yeah, look, I think for Mania, like she's her head's in the right space. She wants to play and be involved. We'll see how she pulls up. For the other ones, they're a little bit more experienced in doing that travel, right? So I think that's kind of also a key thing.
Victory, they've got some serious Matildas experience in there, some new imports. How do you assess them season? What challenge play for us?
Yeah, they obviously started a little slow with those defeats early on, but have bounced back amazingly since, and I think that was probably expected. I think on paper, the squad they've got, everyone was kind of tipping them to be title contenders. They're perennial kind of up there, aren't they, in and amongst the playoffs and the finals. So they're a big team, and it will be a big test. They're also got the same kind of things as we do. They've had 2 of their girls away with the 20s in China, and then Lydia Williams away with the Matildas, so they're kind of dealing with a little bit of that as well. So it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be quite tactical, and I think the players, like, and how you use the players throughout the game is going to be a key part of it. So it's going to be big decisions to make, but it's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you get to this point where you've had a couple of Chloe injury, you've had a really good start to the season, you've got football ferns just coming back, do you go into this game sort of thinking, let's just try and get through it. Whether it's no chance to relax, is the intensity there, sort of thing? Are you just trying to take a bit of a breath or something? You know.
Look, I think it's like our philosophy is we're going to attack every game and try and win every game. Is there challenges this week? Yeah, there is. There'll be challenges in future weeks, and there'll be other international windows. There'll be other injuries. There'll be other things where we have to change the team. That's football. But the philosophy is pick the team that we think is going to win the game and go after it, and that's what we'll do on Sunday as well.
You've strengthened with bringing Isabel in. Presumably she's not here yet, is she? So she can't play on Sunday. But where does she best fit into your system?
Well, I think one of the good things is like her flexibility across that forward line. She's been used in a front two, been used in a front three, in the middle in a three, wide in a three. So, look, I think predominantly she plays wide, generally speaking, but she's very flexible across. And I think that's what we're learning is, and the players that are going to come in as these injury replacements, they need to be flexible and they need to be able to cover some positions. I've spoken about it before, but only having 4 outfielders on the bench means that you kind of do have to have some people that can be in different positions and not all specialists. Otherwise, it's very difficult to kind of cover off a game or a game plan. So yeah, I think like having an extra forward that can do a little bit of everything is really good. And then we'll be looking for the same type of stuff in midfield and in defence. And if we can get 2 more in, 1 more kind of defensive player, 1 more midfield player, I think then like we get back to having that kind of balance that we've lost a little bit.
Where will you look to sign those players now you're restricted to Kiwis in Australia?
Yeah, so I mean, from a New Zealand point of view, it's football ferns, it's players that are in the States, and then of course it's our own academy and players that are coming through our system. So there's a little bit of variety. We've explored some options, we're sort of still doing that. But yeah, our club philosophy is that we want to give young Kiwis and academy players opportunities, so that might mean that someone steps up from the academy, so we'll have to sort of assess where we're at. But yeah, obviously using the 5 import spots mean the pool is down to Kiwis and Australians, and the season's already started, and there's not a tradition in the A-League women of adding players mid-season or like there's not that January transfer window. So a lot of the players are obviously signed up, a lot of the leagues overseas are signed up, so the pool isn't huge. So we're thinking about ways in which we can be creative with that. Yep.
What's the pitch? If you were to attract people, is it come and win a title? Is it we've got great training facilities while you're not doing much in your off season? Is it something else?
Yeah, I think it's like you want that to be a combination of everything, really. The team, the style of play, come and play in that way, and kind of enjoy the football. Obviously, we have great facilities here, so enjoy the facilities. And then New Zealand, Wellington, we're trying to sell Wellington to people. It's putting on a good show at the moment. So it will be raining when Isabel arrives, no doubt. But yeah, like I think it's a little bit of everything. And if the team's doing well and is successful, that just adds to it, you know. But you're trying to kind of create a situation where there's kind of a whole raft of things that players like look to and think this is a good place to be.